Hey, what's up? Thank y'all for tuning in to another episode of The Balance. I want to go ahead and express, first and foremost, my admiration and appreciation for everyone who tunes in to every episode week after week. Even if you don't tune in the moment that it drops, those of you who go back and catch up and listen to the episodes, I just really want to thank you so much. And to those of you who retweeted, who like, who tweet me about the shows, who follow my podcast pages on Twitter and Instagram, and if you don't do so, please go ahead. It's at the_balance_pod. But those of you who do follow, I appreciate so much. And I just ask that you keep doing it, keep helping me spread the word, and help me make this bigger and larger and fulfill my dreams. And I just really hope that you guys can find the time to write a review and rate it on iTunes, as that'll help me immensely in my journey and what I aim to do. So we're going to go ahead and jump into the show this week. And so I wanted to start off with Winnie Harlow because she was in the news because she was casted as a Victoria's Secret model. And I was rooting for Winnie Harlow because, of course, rooting for everybody black. And I was first exposed to her. I knew a little bit about her before Beyonce dropped the Lemonade film, but I was really exposed to her for the first time then. And I was rooting for her because, she has vitiligo also, and I know how cruel society can be. So I just was really appreciating her for being out there, owning herself, not being afraid of what the world might say or think of her. But apparently, guys, she's trash. So, and I didn't know that, but apparently it was just this huge, knowledgeable thing that other people knew about because she apparently came after Ducky Thought. Ducky Thought, who also, I'll go ahead and give that Black Excellence Award to this week. She landed a Victoria's Secret model spot. And diverging a little bit off topic, I'm not a huge Victoria's Secret person. They don't cater to everybody type. And of course, the racial dynamics behind the show and lack of diversity for the most part. But it's great that Ducky Thought got it. I'm really happy for her. And so, yeah, back to Winnie Harlow. She got the spot. And so I found out that she was trash. And I did this whole tweet where I didn't know Winnie Harlow was trash. And I was like, thanks, Twitter. And apparently, like I was saying, she made fun of Ducky Thought's natural hair or her hair. She had a ponytail. And she called her cauliflower head. She's also apparently an All Lives Matter person. One of those likes to say that. And apparently she's been a bully to other women and models. And she was messy when she was on America's Next Top Model. But I didn't know about her at that time. But I just thought that anybody who's out here rooting for her, that I should let you know that she's trash. So you don't spend your time rooting for trash, because there's amazing people out here who deserve to be rooted for and celebrated, and she's not one of those. So, just want to let you guys know about that. So then we're going to move on to Cardi B, and we have two parts to Cardi B this week. Cardi B versus bartenders. So apparently she ordered the beatdown of some bartenders who allegedly slept with Offset. And I'll get into this a little bit when I talk about Queen Radio's episode, which I did not listen to. I just kind of got the tidbits here and there from Twitter. But I will say that I agree with this part that Nicki Minaj said that, it's a problem with Offset. And it is. Offset's cheated on her twice. And then since the revelation that they were married prior to, he cheated on his wife. Not just his fiance or his girlfriend. He cheated on his wife. That's the problem with Offset. You shouldn't come towards those girls. Are they wrong? Yes. They know that he's a married man. They know that he has a child. And it's well known. And so they should not be messing with him. And I mean, that just goes for anybody. You shouldn't mess with somebody who's taken. But at the end of the day, Offset is the one who made the vows. Offset is the one who promised to honor, love, and cherish and do right by Cardi. And he needs to, and he's not. So while you're allegedly ordering beatdowns of people and bartenders and stuff like that, she claims that she didn't, but we'll see. While you're over here doing that, you need to be checking your husband. And if he can't get it together and respect you and do right by you, then you need to walk away. And so I will say that I do agree with that sentiment that Nicki Minaj expressed in the Queen Radio episode today. So that's my first part of Cardi B. And then the second part of Cardi B is, of course, the infamous showdown at New York Fashion Week between her and Nicki Minaj. So apparently, according to Cardi's side of the story, she said that Nicki Minaj liked some posts that insinuated that Cardi was a bad mother. Now, I agree with other people online who said, if in fact Nicki Minaj did do that, receipts would have been shown. Twitter is infamous for finding tweets from like 10 years ago. They'll find the receipts of what Nicki liked, and I hadn't really seen any of them. So if she in fact did do it, where's the receipt? Where's the proof? But I also will say that I do not think that Cardi would just attack and run up on Nicki Minaj unprovoked. Nicki Minaj has been trying it for months now. Like, she's been hating and jealous and shading and just throwing shots at Cardi for a while now. So I don't think she just popped off for any reason. And I admire Cardi for popping off. She's about that life. She's about what she says. And I love that about her. And I think that's what drew me to her. And I'll kind of mix in a little bit of Queen Radio in this part here. And Nicki says that Cardi built her fame and her notoriety on sympathy and payola. I can't speak to the payola part. I don't know. I'm not in the industry. I don't know. I'm not the DJs. I don't know. But I can speak to the part of sympathy. I don't see where there's sympathy here. I think that Cardi built it off her being a funny, captivating, authentic person. She built it off make people laugh. Like a hoe never gets cold. Her Instagram videos. That's how I came up on her. You know, entertaining people, loving hip hop, and then with her album, Invasion of Privacy, which was good, which was solid. That wasn't about necessarily just payola. That wasn't definitely not about sympathy. It was a good album. It had bops. Like, don't be mad. And I just hate that Nicki's just become such this bitter person. You know, like I hate it for her because I was a huge Nicki Minaj person. Itty Bitty Piggy. I have like the Pink Friday album. I was over here watching 106 Park, holding my album in my hand while she was on there talking about it. But I just don't like how she's become, and her music trajectory has been downhill. She hasn't been putting out the same type of content that made me fall in love with her. And I just hate this turn that it's taken. But yeah, so I don't think that Cardi popped off for any reason. And I'm pro Cardi. I'm team Cardi and all of this. Is it ideal that they fight at Fashion Week? No, but I'm not about trying to perform in spaces of whiteness. I'm about authenticity, and that's what she was doing. And Nicki brought up the whole she was humiliated that they were making themselves look like this and causing this spectacle at this grand event. Yes, New York Fashion Week is this grand, large-scale, important event, but why? It's because it's a predominantly white space and white event, which has catapulted it because everything white seems to be catapulted. Like the Grammys, white space, we catapulted. So, again, I'm not here for the respectability politics, because that still gets people killed. It doesn't give us respect regardless of whether or not how we are. And I'll get into that later. So she can miss me with that. All the way with that. So I'm here to say, again, I'm Team Cardi. Do I think they should have been doing it at New York Fashion Week? No. But when you reach a breaking point, you just snap. When stuff isn't getting at you, and you see one little thing, even if it's something so small, it can cause you to snap. And I think that's what happened. And that's just that on that. I'm not going to speak on all this bird behavior, because it is bird behavior at the end of the day, but I'm not more so on Nicki's part, because she's been instigating this whole thing. And I don't want to spend the whole show talking about that, because there's more important things in life that can be talked about. And I do want to keep this episode a little shorter, just to make it easier for my listeners and everything like that. So, another thing I want to talk about, Queen Radio with Nicki. She talked about 6ix9ine, and she said, that's really my fucking baby, and I don't give a fuck what any of y'all gotta say. And I'm pretty sure he's been into some shit. I think he's accused of being a pedophile. And for Nicki to come out and say that, of course, everyone has the innocent until proven guilty thing. And I don't know if he was proven guilty, but those are serious allegations. And for you to just be like, fuck that and fuck everybody's opinion, that just shows the negative evolution of what Nicki has become. And especially for her to say that given the situation of her brother is just really sketch. But, and Nicki always talks about how everybody wants to make Onika the bad guy. Nobody's trying to make Onika the bad guy. Onika is making herself the bad guy. You keep starting this stuff. Why can't y'all just, and it sounds so cliche, but why can't y'all just get along? They could make some great songs together, Nicki and Cardi, and they could no one's here to set an example. No one's here to be a role model. Granted, that's what parents are for. But they could set a great example for hip-hop and women and just be about women empowerment and unity in the Black community, because we need that. The Black community needs to be unified right now. More than ever, honestly, with all the shit that's going on. And then I just don't like how she just kind of went off. And I think she hit a low blow when she wanted to talk about the postpartum depression, calling Cardi crazy. Telling us, let's get a 1-800 number for postpartum depression because she needs it. And stuff like that. And it's like, how dare you? Don't ever use depression and mental health issues to attack someone. And so that's a low blow for me, and it just further sinks Nicki in my eyes. Don't do that. She very well could be going through postpartum depression and need help, but don't act like she's crazy and that she's just running on emotions and that none of this is coming from anywhere. Like, that's gaslighting, boo. And that's what Nicki's doing. And all her delusional fans don't see that. And that's the problem. And so, one thing she says, like, the Lord gave you a blessing, a beautiful bundle of joy, and the only thing in your mind is to attack women. Sis, like, what are you talking about? You're such a hypocrite because all you're doing in your space is attacking women and you're attacking babies. You attack Stormy. And why don't you let this woman of 25 years old enjoy her life and enjoy her newborn baby and let her rock? But you keep coming at her because you're jealous and you're scared. There's no reason that you both can't flourish. Ignore what the fans are trying to do. Ignore the fan wars. You can flourish. You can work on your craft. Like, she's just spiraling, and I just want better for Nicki. But she's getting on my nerves, and she's making it hard to root for her. And she claims she's never stopped a bag. Like, she's never stopped anyone's bag, and she's never stopped Cardi's bag, which is false. And everybody in the game, so many people are saying that she's stopping people's bags. And everybody else is just lying and just poor old Nika. I don't believe it. Get the fuck out of here. I don't believe it. And she said, you definitely stopped other women's bags. I know she took, part of She Bad from Cash Doll. And Cash Doll had a good verse. So I'll give Nicki that. But what I'm not going to do is just because she can bring up a little bit of things and, come up with a little bit of receipts. That doesn't negate all of the shit that she's doing and all the negativity that she's fostering. I don't like it, and I can't get with it. But we're going to take a little break, and then we'll be right back. Hey y'all, so I have a surprise. So we're going to do a double feature, which means there'll be a part 1 and a part 2 of the podcast dropping this week. So in the rest of this podcast, we'll have an interview with Danielle Holmes from Crown Jewels, an organization at Georgia State University. And then at the end, we'll have a brief recap of Insecure, because I have to do it, especially for Lauren's HIve. Y'all got y'all wish. All right, tune in. Here comes the interview. Hey guys, we're back, and I'm here with Danielle Holmes. She's part of Crown Jewels at GSU, and there's been a little controversy regarding the Crown Jewels and their performance at the Kennesaw game. And so I wanted to do my due diligence, and I wanted to speak with them a little bit about what's going on. So Danielle, I'm just going to kind of ask you, can you tell me about Crown Jewels?
Yes, so we are Georgia State's first and only major style dance team. We were chartered in January of last year.
Mm-hmm.
And so since then, we did the first basketball season for spring. So we were chartered in spring. We did spring basketball season. We did fall football season last year. We did spring football season again. And then this is our fourth season, second season on football.
Okay, cool. And so from my understanding, you kind of do like the HBCU majorette type dancing, right?
That is correct. It is commonly seen at HBCUs and at urban high schools.
Okay, cool. And so can you just go ahead and tell me a little bit about what happened at the Kennesaw game? Because when I read about it, it just didn't make sense to me. And that's why I wanted to reach out to you guys. So if you could just tell me a little bit about what exactly happened.
Okay, so I'll give you the short synopsis of it. So we got invited to do the tailgate. We did the tailgate performance with SGA. And then we headed to the game. We got to the game. We pretty much sat in the same section we sat in last season. And so when we got there, of course, the stands were, mostly empty. We got there, we proceeded to dance, and literally within the first, minute of us being there, we had people coming up to us from the athletics department, telling us, we can't dance. And of course, I'm asking, well, why can't we dance? We had a agreement with the athletics department through mediation from the previous semester, and we were clear to dance as long as they weren't at capacity, as long as we weren't doing different things like throwing items and things like that. So I, asked the woman to, show me the policy, and then, from there we just had different people coming over from the athletics department saying, different excuses as to why we couldn't dance. This was all within the first quarter. And by the second quarter, they had called the police on us, and the police pretty much told us that if we didn't move to the away side, then that we would be escorted off the premises. So, of course, we didn't want to be escorted off the premises, so, relentlessly, we went to the away side, and the police escorted us from where we were on the student side to the away side.
So when I was reading the articles, and you were saying the stands are mostly empty, and again, I'm a GSU alumna, and back when it was at the Dome, and I'm sure it's the same now, it is mostly empty. There was always space in the student sections, and so when I was reading the article, they were saying that, we were just trying to make enough space for everybody, and there was plenty of space, and I saw someone from your group, I can't remember if it was you or someone else, but I know you guys were saying someone could sit behind you or beside you or even with the group. So clearly, what they were saying really wasn't the issue. The whole space thing wasn't really it. And so I just wanted to get your opinion. Do you have an idea of why you think they might not let you? I know like the athletic department, their main group is like the Pantherettes. Do you think they feel like you're a threat to them or anything like that?
I honestly don't feel like that is the reason. We have been through this pretty much every semester since we have been chartered. Every semester they try to come up with a different reason as to why we can't dance and why we can't do this. And then of course us going through the proper, procedures, rules, and protocols, we, they ultimately say yes, okay, you all can dance. And so this game, it kind of just, it went too far with us. Is when they called the police. It's like, okay, you all are, now it's time to really try to, expose what you all have been doing for the past, 2 years. And so we think it's because the athletics department doesn't want to display major style dancing because they may feel like it's not the image or the look they're going for. And so, honestly, that's what we think it is. And, of course, they can't say that. But, it's pretty much the unknown, thing around campus, that they don't want that type of dance style displayed at the games. And so that's what we think it is.
I agree with you. Like, I know when I was a student there, I graduated back in 2016, which makes me feel old. But anyway, so back when I was a student there, I know there was this whole thing because Georgia State is classified as a PWI, but Black people make up the majority. And I think that's kind of a non-selling point for Georgia State because I know, like, in different speeches and when they were trying to coax more people into coming to the university, they try to harp on the fact that we are a PWI. And so I agree that it's probably what you're saying, like, it doesn't fit the image because it kind of leads to more, I guess, HBCU vibes. And, Georgia State, they are trying to compete with other colleges like UGA, which is a PWI, or other PWIs in the state, sorry. So I definitely agree with what you're saying, and I think that could be it. And so, go ahead, I'm sorry.
Okay, I was saying that's one of the, I guess, biggest things that we're trying to pretty much, point out to everyone is that, even though this school is, they came out, I think, last semester with saying, they graduated the most African American students, and it's like, you're a school that prides yourself on, diversity and, graduating the most African American students, but it's like you accept those students, but you're not willing to accept the culture that comes with them. And so, for us, it's kind of like you have to be willing to be culturally competent and tolerant to accept, these different people with these different backgrounds, and you can't just set them out because like you said, it is a lot of African American students, but it is still ran as a PWI and ran by people who, are of Caucasian or white race. So.
Absolutely. And I know because when I graduated, they had that same, like at my graduation, they talked about how they graduated the most African Americans, and that was like a point of pride. And so, like, you're right. You're absolutely right. You cannot and it's kind of a bigger thing in larger culture, like how gosh, I'm losing my train of thought here. But yeah.
And I will say that since we have came out with our story, we've had a lot of other different organizations on campus, whether it be arts and performance organizations, that have come out and said that they have experienced the same thing pretty much, regarding trying to, implement things or trying to, create things on campus for, students like us, students who look like us, come from the same backgrounds we come from, and they are faced with the same, adversity that we have been faced with.
Yeah, and I think what I was trying to get at earlier is that, you cannot try to use the diversity and the level of Blackness and Black achievements for your purposes, but then you don't actually want to celebrate the culture. And it's just kind of like, I guess what I was trying to allude to is kind of like cultural appropriation. Like they love like our style, our way of being, our culture essentially, but they don't love it on us. So it was just kind of that thing, like you can't have it both ways. Like you can't love the culture and use it for your achievements, like down model runways, how they'll do the baby hairs, but then they hate it on us or whatever. And so just kind of relating it back to like GSU, like you can't like claim about the diversity and claim about how many Black people you're graduating, but then you try to shun the same culture that comes with the people that you're graduating and that you're bringing into the university. And I didn't know that there were other groups on campus that were going through the same thing, but I'm glad you guys are kind of coming together and addressing the issue. Like when I saw that you were speaking, or you or whoever in your group were speaking with WSB TV, like I was just really proud because I feel like it's something that you guys need to get out, and to make that change, like you have to be vocal and you have to speak up. If you feel comfortable sharing, which other organizations have reached out to you about the same struggles?
I don't know if I can say.
Yeah, that's fine. That's absolutely
fine. I don't
fine.
want to put any other groups on campus, but it does span wider than, like I said, the arts and performance groups on campus. It's, different community service groups, different, corporate organizations on campus who are faced with the same adversity. I can't say this because I am a member. Well, we did have, I'm a member of the pre-law group here on campus, and so when we had, someone from FAMU reach out, they pretty much diverted them to the African-American, subgroup of that pre-law versus having them talk to the whole pre-law division. And so, the woman, her telling me, and it's like, yeah, I kind of expected that coming from GSU, versus you wanting to expand it to all the students, you minimize, FAMU, because it is the HBCU, although it is not, located in Tallahassee, it is a HBCU. Try to minimize them to only the black students on campus, only to the black law group on campus. And so, even, the hashtag for the season is Be the Change. And so it's like, how do you promote Be the Change when, we're bringing change to the table and you say, no, we don't want that change. We want to stay the way we are. So it's kind of a contradiction. And like I said, we've been going through this for 2 years now. And so it finally got to the point where I'm like, okay, look, we're fed up. We've been doing everything, the right way by the book, black and white. And so now it's just time to kind of just bring it to the forefront, bring it to the people and let the people speak on our behalf, because we've been, going through this. Like I said, we had to go through mediation. They stopped responding to emails and phone calls, and so we had to go through additional channels just to try to overcome this barrier and still get there at the game, as they're crossing our T's and dotting our I's. I saw a lot of people like, oh, they didn't have permission to be there. We definitely have permission to be there. This was just, last semester. So, it's just something new, always a new obstacle that they try to bring to us, and a new excuse other than the real reason why. And so we're just trying to get this situation handled, and hopefully this will change the tone on campus to where other groups can get the same, situation handled as well.
I hope so. And then, like you were saying, you went through all the proper channels, like Georgia State, they officially sponsor you, they sanction you, they pay for your group, pay for your uniforms, and you have the provision, like you said, in there to dance in the stands. And so my thing is, I was thinking about why you were talking, is I don't understand if I don't understand why you couldn't just stay where you're at. Why did you have to move? Why did they make you move to the wayside? If they had a problem, they could just had you all just sit there in that one section, that one little bleacher area. I don't understand why they had to move you. And so was the space thing, was that the only excuse that they gave?
No, they gave multiple. Like I said, within the first quarter, at least 6 different people came up to us from the athletics department.
Yeah.
One reason was that we were too spaced out, so then of course we moved pretty much to be on top of each other. We moved in close.
Yeah.
The second reason was because we were an official organization on campus. We couldn't dance at the games, and so I'm like, well, there's plenty of organizations that come to the games all the time that dance, in the stands or stroll, step, whatever they do, and they play music for a reason. They play music because they want people to dance.
Exactly.
They don't want people to just sit there in their seats. So the reasons just weren't adding up, and So yeah, we pretty much we knew why. We knew why.
Yeah, I actually agree. Is there anything else that you want to get out there to the people? Because I want you to have your time to get your message out, because I really believe in it, and I really believe that the change that you guys are trying to do, because I would have loved to be a part of y'all group while I was there. It was really exciting for me to see that y'all were doing that, and I love that you're bringing that to Georgia State. So I just want to give you a chance. Is there anything else that you want to get out there?
Thank you for that, and we hear that a lot, and it kind of it's the motivation behind why we do. When the police came and escorted us, I don't know about the rest of the team, but I'm very emotional, and so when the police came, I was literally 1 second away from crying. But when the crowd kind of cheered for us, and cheered us on, and that's the reason why we did not leave the stadium. That's the reason why we moved to the away side. We said, okay, fine. The crowd is cheering us. We're gonna still dance. Although we're gonna, the school doesn't want us to be here, we're still gonna be here and support the school that we attend. And so, for anyone who's listening, we have a petition currently on our Instagram page, crownjewels_GSU. If you could please go to the petition, sign, share it, promote, just try to get it out there. And so, yeah, that's it.
Thank you. I really thank you for that. And yeah, so that'll wrap it up, guys. I want to thank Danielle for coming on and just sharing her truth and sharing what's going on. I really hope that they can get everything worked out. And for me, what I don't understand, and I guess maybe my last question before we wrap it up, or maybe if you can answer, you might not be able to, but have you contacted like a higher authority at Georgia State? Because I feel like it's Georgia State as a university clashing with the athletics department, because the GSU University as a whole, not the athletic department, has sanctioned y'all. So is it like a misunderstanding? Like, is there something that you can do or reach out specifically to someone in the university outside of the athletic department? Because I just feel like they shouldn't be able to override a university.
You know what? And I will say this, and like I said, this has been going on for 2 years, so it's a lot of backstory that, you all weren't able to see on TV or read in the article. Before I even started the dance team, I reached out to, the bigger entities. I went to the new student organizations director, and he told me to reach out to them. So, of course, I reached out to them. And they said, they didn't want to be a part of it. They didn't see the band going in that direction, things like that. And so I brought it to the organization director, and he said, well, if they say that, we don't want to disrespect their wishes. And so from there, I kind of saw the tone of where things were going and, kind of set myself up to make sure that everything I do was in the right order and steps. So even as far as us being chartered, that was a task and a struggle from the school itself. So I also, since in light of Thursday's event, I did reach out to the president, Mark Becker, and he directed me to someone in the athletics department. And that person in the athletics department has yet to respond to my email. However, they did reach out to my advisor and tell them that they felt the email was threatening and things like that. So it's not. I think it's the university as a whole that just trying not to exhibit this style of dance or this culture in itself. And so I think we have a long fight ahead of us, but I think we're ready for the fight, and we have been fighting. So
yeah, and I hope the other people out there will support you. I'm definitely supporting and rooting for you, and it's just interesting to me, like, how when Black women stand up for themselves, how they're always seen as aggressive or threatening or what have you. But I really appreciate you for speaking out and coming on here and again.
And I would say one more thing.
Go ahead, girl. Go ahead.
Sorry. As far as the interview goes on Channel 2, the commentator who spoke out on behalf of the athletics department, to me, his response tried to play the stereotypical angry Black woman and, we're going to do what we want to do and things like that. And, of course, that's not the case. That's not what happened. We're very respectable women. Like I said, we do things, by the book. And so that's pretty much the tone they want to set for, organizations who speak out against things that aren't right, is that, they're being unruly and they're angry Black women, they're this stereotypical, going against the grain, and it's not like that. It's bigger than that. Like I said, it's a whole cultural issue, and we just have to overcome it.
We do. And again, like, I wish you guys the best of luck, and that's why I wanted to have you on the show today, because I wanted you to get your story out and tell your side of the story. And because I saw the article where it said, like, it was trying to portray you guys like that, where it said they were going to do what they want to do. And I felt, when I read that, I was like, no, like, I felt like it was being biased. I felt like it wasn't being objective and just truly letting you guys speak and getting the whole story out there. So that's what I want to do. And I hope that I've helped you do that today.
Thank you so much. We cannot thank you enough for your support and even wanted to hear our story. We appreciate you so much. Thank you.
You're welcome. All right, guys, so that's going to wrap up this section, and we'll be right back. Hey, y'all, I hope you enjoyed the interview. And again, I want to thank Danielle Holmes for agreeing to speak with me and sit down and discuss the issue. And I really wanted to bring light to it because that's clearly an unfair practice at Georgia State. And even though I'm an alumna, I feel the need to speak the truth and let the truth be out there. And I feel the need to be objective and bring forth issues that matter. So, moving forward, we're going to go ahead and jump into a brief recap of Insecure. So when I saw y'all saying, like, this is the best episode of the season, like, I thought y'all were flexing, but oh my God, I just finished the episode, and when I tell you I was laughing so hard, like, I was over here, like, eating and almost choked on my chicken, like, but I mean, if you're going to go out in this world, I mean, watching that episode and eating chicken, like, that's the best way to go out, you know what I'm saying? So anyway, so yeah, it was so funny, and I was like, okay, I want to do a brief recap to keep the episode kind of short. I'm like, well, oh my God, like, where am I going to start? Like, what am I going to talk about? Because it was just so much. So I'm just going to try to capture I don't even know how to say highlights because there's just so many highlights, but just different things like I want to talk about. So that fight scene. So, oh my God, it was so funny. I should have known. Let me backtrack to the Molly. When they took Molly, I should have known, like, from here, it was just going to be full of fuckery. Like, I should have known. Um, Kelly over here saying, I'm gonna fuck him, I'm gonna fuck him. And I think she said, I'm gonna fuck her. So, okay, I see you. Um, but yeah, that shit was so fucking funny. I want to give a shout out to Kelly and the actress who plays her. I believe her name is Natasha. Plays her so well. Kelly is so funny, and I want her to get more shine on this show and in other shows and more opportunities. Like, she plays that character to a T, and she's a perfect fit for the show. But yeah, so the fight scene. So I like one of the first things that popped in my mind when I was watching the fight scene was Girlfriends. Do y'all remember that episode of Girlfriends where Tony, Maya, and Joan, and I don't know if Lynn was there, but they all got into this fight at this club. And Tony and Maya weren't even cool at that point in the show, but Maya helped Tony like fight the girl or whatever. And then Joan was over there screaming like, "Oh my God, stop!" And she just freaking out and doing like, you know, the little inner voice moment in her head. And like, I just flashed to that scene when they were fighting at Coachella because like, why am I not remembering her name at the moment? Tiffany. Tiffany was like being Joan and she was just screaming and then everybody's just fighting and stuff. And when I tell you, like, I'm sorry, it's just so funny to me still. But no, when Kelly's crazy ass was like, "You whole milk drinking bitch," like I just knew from then it was just gonna be it, and I just knew it was gonna be priceless. And then she snatched her down and just started fighting. Like that was just so funny. And then I was like, "Oh my God!" When they tased like when they tased Kelly, but then when I saw like that wetness around her Gucci, I was like, "Oh my God!" And this bitch pissed on herself, and then she's like, "I pissed myself," and it was just so funny. Like I was dying. Oh, another part that had me dying before this was when Issa was waking everybody up and she was flashing back to that whole Bad Girls Club scene where the girl's like, "I ain't get no sleep because of y'all, because y'all ain't get no sleep because of me," something like that, whatever, you know what it means. And so, like, she had came and she was like banging and stuff and waking them up. Like, everybody's reaction was so funny. And the way Molly ran up on her and told me something like, "Bitch, I only got 3 hours of sleep last night." Like, it was just so funny. I thought Molly was gonna beat her ass. But yeah, so back to Coachella, like, that fight scene was just epic. And like, I was dying when Kelly pissed herself, like, just so much. Um, I did when like Tiffany, it was so funny how she was talking about like, "Oh, like I did eat a little bit of the weed brownie, like don't judge me," but just kind of shifted a little bit. I did like at the end that we got to see Tiffany's point of view because I was like, she's kind of the weakest link in the show, and I was like, we don't really get to know much about her like that. And so I was glad at the end of the show she had that point of view and she was right, like things are different because she's gonna be a mother. And yeah, you can still have fun and turn up and do things when you're a mother, but there is a shift there. Like your responsibility changes. Your whole life changes. It's not about you and what you want to do anymore. And I think it was kind of sad that she had to go as far as to eat edibles while she's pregnant just to fit in with her friends because they were leaving her out of group messages and all these different things, and she just wasn't fun to them anymore because she wasn't as available and as accessible and because she was doing different things with her life. And I like that point of view of friendship because you have friendships are going to evolve and they're going to change, and as we get older there's going to be new things thrown into the mixture, and real friendship has to be accommodating of that and not distancing yourself from the friend just because things are changing and they're growing in a different direction. You have to be willing to really make that change and accept people as they are and as they're coming, you know, because we're all changing and growing as women. And same thing for men. They're all coming and growing and changing as men. So I just wanted to bring that up. And so then Molly, Molly cannot be on Molly. I was like, she would be the one who really can't handle her Molly and is over here going all about her feelings about her with Dro. But I'm so glad that's deaded because that's what it seems to be dead, and I hope so. I hope it stays dead because Dro was a mess. That whole situation was a mess. And another mess that Molly's making is she's aligning herself with the wrong people. Like, I think his name is Torrance or something. He's a Morehouse man, girl. You should have known then. They sell dreams. They're not good for you. So she's instead of, and like, you know, the girls gave her a stank look in one of the last episodes, and she aligned herself with the wrong people. She should have stayed with the women, but she's so trying to climb ahead when it's maybe not her time, or she just needs to go about things differently. It could be her time to shine and to be on top, but she needs to be careful about her strategy and the way she goes about it. And she aligned herself with the wrong people. I don't know what possessed her to align herself with someone who talks over her. And as you can see, like, he tried to steal the thing from underneath her, like, which I didn't understand how they told her if something was good and then they turn around and say it's bad, and that just allowed him to steal the show. But you can't win in the good old boys club. You never can. So I just want better for Molly. Make better decisions, better strategies, sis. And of course, before I get to everybody's like bomb drop moment of the show, I want to talk quickly about Nathan, the new guy, who people reminded me on boards is actually Caleb Hapstall from How to Get Away with Murder. You know, the one that had the Asian twin and they had some kind of ancestral thing going on and killed their parents? Yeah, so that's him. So he sketched to me like the whole not text the Easter thing. He's like, oh, I was worried about coming on too strong, whatever. But he was just so hesitant and he just kind of ignored her like the first time she brought up not texting back. Like he seems kind of flaky and fly. Like he's here for the excitement and the fun times. But is he here for when shit gets real? You know, I'm not sure about where he stands and what he's really looking for. And I can tell that Issa's catching feelings. And I don't know if he's catching the same type of feelings. I feel like she's gonna be like the what are we or whatever, and I feel like he's gonna hit her with the iconic nigga line like you not my girl though, or you not my girl, why you tripping? And I just don't want that to happen, but I feel like it might. So of course the big moment of the show was Lawrence popping back up. And Lawrence HIve, that's why I named the episode after y'all. Y'all got y'all wish. Lawrence is back. And I'm actually kind of excited. I did miss Lawrence a little bit. And I mean, it's reflective of real life because when things are switching up, like, and you're trying to evolve your life, like all of your exes come back, like they just pop up, like out of nowhere. It's like they have like spidey senses or something. Like I know for me, like right now, I'm in like this transformative period in my life, and I call them the big three. There's a big three set of three men that have meant the most to me in my life, and they all have come back around the same time, but God has shifted it so that they've eliminated out of my life. Like we've all had our form of closure where I've had to say goodbye to them for whatever reason or another, and that's just how I know it's a transformative period in my life that I'm about to go somewhere from here. But yeah, so him popping back up was just interesting and just so true to life. But it was good seeing Lawrence. I'm glad he's back, and I just can't wait to see where it goes from here. So I hope you guys have enjoyed the episode. Remember that there's going to be a part 2 dropped probably this weekend. Again, repost, re-like, write a review, tell your friends, all of that. Thank you guys so much for listening. Bye.